emergency action notification. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is WXCA 17. We will continue to serve the Los Angeles area. If you are not in this local area, you should tune to cable systems providing news and information for your local area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use only. Please stand by. The President or one of his designated representatives will speak on the air shortly. Stand by. A representative of the President of the United States will speak over the air shortly. Stand by. Stand by. A representative of the President of the United States will speak over the air shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, a representative of the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is with a heavy heart for me to announce that we are under attack. As of 9:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of over 120 nuclear ICBMs from Russian nuclear missile launch sites, which are on a direct collision course with the continental United States. Cities like Los Angeles and Charlotte are most likely to either be hit by the missiles or fall to radiation. While we may have been taken by surprise by the Russians, we will rise up and fight back as one nation under God. This concludes my speech. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Good luck, fellow Americans.
That was a message from a representative of the President of the United States. We will now return you to the emergency alert system.
target. Over. Roger that. Watcher 01, return to base. Out. Copy that. Command, Watcher 01 RTB.
Due to an active national emergency currently in effect, WXSC-FM has gone off the air. Please tune to WXSC-14 or any news stations for information. Due to an active national emergency currently in effect, WXSC-FM has gone off the air. Please tune to WXSC-14 or any news stations for Please stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Please stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Please stand by for a message from a representative of the President.
My fellow Americans, it is with great pride for me to announce that 100 out of 120 intercontinental ballistic missiles launched from Russian nuclear missile launch sites have been shot down by the North American Aerospace Defense Command and the United States Air Force's interceptor missiles. However, approximately 20 missiles remain in the air and are estimated to strike within the next 30 minutes. Targets have been estimated as Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa Bay, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Little Rock, Arkansas, Austin, Texas, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. Other targets have not been fully confirmed at this time. Residents are still being strongly advised to seek a fallout shelter immediately. Do not leave your fallout shelter until the all-clear is given by your local, state, or federal authorities. We'd like to thank you for your cooperation during this emergency. We will fight back. This concludes my speech. May God be with you all, and may God bless the United States of America.
Unfortunate news today as America lays in ruins following the detonation of approximately 100 intercontinental ballistic missiles from Russia. Cities like Los Angeles, Charlotte, Sunshine City, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay have been decimated by the blast. And this just in, the Russian Air Force have been seen flying over Norway. That is correct. Russia has deployed their Air Force. We assume this could potentially mean an invasion of the U.S., however we cannot confirm that at this time until we receive information from the
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government and the United States Department of Civil Defense. The radiation from the nuclear missiles detonated 2 weeks ago has cleared. All clear. I repeat, all clear. The United States government thanks you for your cooperation. Please remain tuned to TV and radio stations for further information on this event.
As you heard from that emergency alert that interrupted us, the United States government has declared an all clear. Anyway, NATO has fully acknowledged the missile strikes and has given the following statement, quote, "We acknowledge that an enemy has attacked a founding member of us using an abundance of nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles," unquote. NATO has not invoked Article 5, however it is assumed it will be invoked in the next few days with the possibility of an invasion.
Господин президент, вы уверены, что хотите это сделать? НАТО уже знает, что мы поразили американцев этими МБР.
Да. Хотя НАТО может ссылаться на статью 5, мы могли бы закончить там, где начали.
Но, господин президент, если они примут статью 5, они окажутся нам на заднице.
Так, вот где вы находитесь. Если эти крысы придут, возьмите своих солдат и уничтожьте их.
Если вы хотите это сделать, господин президент, давайте сделаем это.
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way into your car. Buzz. But this hive isn't big enough for the both of us.
Buzzkill. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage,
Paying for this could really sting. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Pepsi Pineapple is back and only available at Little Caesars. That sounds delicious. Launch me, boys!
I just love how you work your magic.
Little Caesars is next door, sweetheart.
Thank you!
So close. Get Pepsi Pineapple only at Little Caesars with all your hot and ready favorites.
Pizza.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Alaska State Emergency Management and Homeland Security Division, the Alaska State's National Guard, and the Alaska State Police in conjunction with the United States Department of Civil Defense. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Russian forces have been spotted attacking residents within the state of Alaska. Cities including Fairbanks, Anchorage, Juneau, Keeney, and Nome have reported multiple Russian soldiers invading. Residents are strongly advised to seek shelter immediately. When you are within your shelter, be sure to have food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight with extra batteries, extra clothing, and a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio. The United States Armed Forces will arrive within the next few minutes. This is an attack warning. An attack warning means an actual attack against this country has been detected, and protective action should immediately be taken. Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
Statewide emergency declared for the entire state of Hawaii. Shelter in place immediately. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Hawaii Division of Emergency Management and Response, the United States Pacific Command, the United States Department of Civil Defense, and the United States Government. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Russian forces have begun an invasion of Hawaii. Residents are strongly advised, regardless of where you are within the state, to shelter in place immediately. It is likely that the mainland United States will also be attacked in the next few hours. Repeating, Russian forces have begun an invasion of Hawaii. Residents are strongly advised, regardless of where you are within the state, to shelter in place immediately. When sheltering in place, be sure to have food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight with extra batteries, a cell phone and charger, and a battery-powered radio. Seek shelter immediately. Russian forces can and will shoot at sight. Stay tuned for further information on this dangerous situation.
He was just a rookie trooper and he surely shook with pride. He checked all his equipment and made sure his pack was tight. He had to sit and listen to those awful engines roar. You ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. Is everybody happy? Cried the sergeant looking up. Our hero feebly answered yes, and then they stood him up. He jumped into the icy blast, his static line and hook, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. He counted long, he counted loud, he waited for the shock. He felt the wind, he felt the cold, he felt the awful drop. The silk from his reserves spilled out and wrapped around his legs, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. The riser swung around his neck, connectors cracked his dome. Suspension lines were tied in knots around his skinny bones. The canopy became his shroud, he hurtled to the ground. He ain't gonna jump no more.
You are listening to NOAA weather radio station KWO37, broadcasting on a frequency of 162.55 MHz. The station is operated by the National Weather Service in Oxnard, California, and transmits from a tower from Mount Lukens in the San Gabriel Mountains. This broadcast is also relayed to a transmitter near Sandburg on a frequency of 162.425 MHz. Due to an active national emergency, all NOAA weather radio stations across the United States have ceased normal broadcast cycles until the national emergency is terminated by the United States government.
My fellow Americans, it is with a heavy heart for me to announce that we are under attack. As of 9:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of over 120 nuclear ICBMs from Russian nuclear missiles.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the California Office of Emergency Management, the California National Guard, and the United States government. This is not a test. The United States Navy's defenses have failed. Repeat. The United States Navy's defenses have failed. Residents are now being strongly advised to seek shelter immediately, as an amphibious landing is imminent. I repeat, an amphibious landing is imminent. Take cover now. I repeat, take cover now. Your life is in extreme danger. Failure to do so will result in death. This message will repeat shortly. Stand by. The following message is transmitted at the request of the California Office of Emergency Management, the California National Guard, and the United States government. This is not a test. The United States Navy's defenses have... Well, shit, that ain't good. There goes my jets. Man, I'm going down. Good luck, Delta 6.
following message is transmitted at the request of the Nevada State National Guard, the Nevada State Highway Patrol, and the United States Department of Civil Defense. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Russian forces have been spotted within the state. Residents are strongly advised to seek shelter immediately. In addition, it has been confirmed that the United States Army's blockades by the California-Nevada border have failed. I repeat, the United States Army's blockades by the California-Nevada border have failed. Residents within the state of Nevada are to seek shelter immediately. Failure to do so will result in death. Seek shelter immediately. Russian forces are advancing towards Las Vegas and will arrive within the next 20 minutes. Shelter now. Gather emergency essentials now. This message will repeat in 3 minutes. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Utah State Governor's Office of Emergency Management, the Emerson County Emergency Management Agency, Techron Industries, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a drill. This is a mandatory evacuation order issued by the Utah State Governor's Office of Emergency Management for residents within a 40 to 50 mile radius of the Techron nuclear power plant in Green City with Russian forces approaching the area. You are advised to evacuate east to Salt Lake City using State Route 75. The Utah State Highway Patrol will assist evacuations. If you do not have transportation, get a ride from a neighbor or call the Utah State Emergency Helpline at 385217280. Again, that is 385217280. Repeating, you are advised to evacuate east to Salt Lake City using State Route 75. The Utah State Highway Patrol will assist evacuations. If you do not have transportation, get a ride from a neighbor or call the Utah State Emergency Helpline at 385217280. Evacuate the area now. This message will be retransmitted in 3 minutes.
1 reporting all clear, no unauthorized personnel spotted.
Gate 2 reporting up, seems to be an armored truck with an LMG attached to it. Requesting back.
Overwatch to Gate 2. Heard gunshots. What's your status?
Gate 2 to Overwatch. Those armored trucks just opened fire. We got a breach. I repeat, we got a breach.
Where the hell is the state troopers and Marines that are supposed to help? We're getting pinned down by mortar fire.
Alpha 6 to command. Russian forces are pinning us down by entry Gate 4. We need immediate evac here ASAP. Over.
Command to Alpha 6. Negative on evac. Can't risk what happened to Delta 6 when he was helping out those state troopers in Nevada. Over.
Roger that. In good call.
All security teams, this is the site director. All security teams are to fall back now. Russian forces have pinned down our support teams, and this site is nearly compromised. We have fallen. Repeat, all security teams are to fall back now. The power plant has been compromised. I will notify emergency management of the situation shortly. Just get the hell out of here before you're finished. Site Director Scarlett, over and out.
Command to all teams. Command to all teams. CENTCOM just gave the order to abandon the power plant. I repeat, CENTCOM just gave the order to abandon the power plant. Get out of there immediately. We have fallen. The plant's takeover is inevitable. Get out of there now.
Copy that command. We'll be falling back now. Come on, boys. We're out of here. The power plant is lost.
Message is transmitted at the request of the Emerson County Emergency Management Agency, the Utah State Emergency Management Division, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. A general emergency has been declared for areas within a 75-mile radius of the Techron nuclear power plant in northwestern Green City due to a confirmed nuclear meltdown of all reactors being reported. I repeat, a general emergency has been declared for areas within a 75-mile radius of the Techron nuclear power plant due to confirmed nuclear meltdown of all reactors. If you are within 75 miles of the plant, you are to evacuate now. This is an extremely dangerous situation and should not be ignored. Evacuate if you are within 75 miles from the plant immediately. Stay tuned for further information on this extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation.
This is a statewide immediate emergency notification per order of Governor David McRoberts and the Utah State Division of Emergency Management. A meltdown of all of Techron nuclear power plant's reactor has been reported and confirmed as a result of a security breach and failure in emergency cooling systems. With heat levels in the plant reaching extreme levels, reactor fuel is beginning to melt. It has been confirmed that this complete meltdown of the plant is unstoppable, and a nuclear disaster of EAS Level 7, which has occurred in Chernobyl in 1986, is imminent. It has been also determined that it is too late to evacuate. Those within a 75-mile radius of the power plant must take immediate shelter underground. Any shelter above ground will be radiated and thus uninhabitable. You are strongly advised to have clean water, food, clothing, medical supplies, as well as other emergency essentials which can last 14 to 21 days. If you have a battery-powered radio, you are to tune to 120.1 FM or 1060 AM for emergency updates and alerts. Repeat, a meltdown of the Techron nuclear power plant of EAS Level 7 is imminent. Those within a 75-mile radius of the power plant are to take immediate shelter underground. Any shelter above ground will be radiated and thus uninhabitable. This station will now go off the air. Tune to 120.1 FM or 1060 AM for further emergency information. The Utah State Division of Emergency Management and the Utah State Governor's Office wishes you good luck.
chemical hazard warning. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Utah State Division of Emergency Management, the Utah State Governor's Office, and the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission. As a result of the meltdown of the Techron nuclear power plant, radioactive materials have been released into the air. Residents are being strongly advised to not go outside under any circumstances, as these materials are fatal and can result in death upon first contact. In addition, the main water supply serving Emerson County has been contaminated with this material and likely will remain contaminated until further notice. You are advised to not drink any public water until further notice. Repeat, as a result of the meltdown of the Techron nuclear power plant, radioactive materials have been released into the air. Residents are strongly advised to not go outside under any circumstances as these materials are fatal and can result in death upon first contact. Stay tuned to media outlets for further information on this situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Sunshine City Police Department, the Sunshine City Emergency Management Agency, the Riverton County Sheriff's Office, and the North Carolina State Police. Residents of Sunshine City and surrounding areas shelter in place immediately. As of 12:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, pro-Russian rioters have begun a riot within the Sunshine City area, as well as other areas within the county. This has been confirmed connected to the ongoing Russian invasion of the United States, which has already taken the United States Armed Forces by storm. As a result, multiple casualties have been reported in the Sunshine City Police, Riverton County Sheriff, or North Carolina State Police for failing to regain control over the city. At this time, residents are being strongly advised to remain indoors until further notice. Do not join the riots. Doing so will result in arrest, injury, or death. The North Carolina National Guard will be deployed to assist local authorities retain law and order. Repeating, pro-Russian rioters have begun a riot within the Sunshine City area, as well as other areas within the county. Shelter in place and do not join the riots.
This is CNN Breaking.
We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to public in assigned areas. This is WXTX-17. We will continue to serve the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you are not in this local area, you should tune to a station serving your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone line should be kept open for emergency use. Please stand by. A representative of the President of the United States will speak shortly. Please stand by.
My fellow Americans, this is a representative of the President who is currently taking shelter in an undisclosed location. It seems that the worst has come to pass. As of 11:50 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Russian forces have begun an invasion of the United States. This comes after our successful interception of their nuclear missiles. It seems that our greatest nightmare that we have feared since the Cold War in 1947, a Russian invasion on American soil, is ongoing. In addition to Russian forces advancing, riots have begun in the eastern coast of the United States. This includes the cities of Baltimore, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Sunshine City, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Tampa Bay, Florida, Miami, Florida, and Jacksonville, Florida. With both of these situations in mind, I strongly advise you to follow the following actions. If you are in the East Coast, you are to remain indoors, arm yourselves with any firearms, and do not attempt to join the riots. Any attempt to join the riots are futile and will result in arrest or death. While we may have been pushed down harder onto our knees, have hope and stay strong. As we have before, we will endure, prevail, and survive as one nation, under God. This concludes my speech. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. message is transmitted at the request of the Colorado State Emergency Management and Homeland Security Division, the Colorado State National Guard, and the United States Department of Civil Defense. This is not a test. Residents of the Denver area, shelter in place immediately. At approximately 10:58 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Russian forces have begun an attack on the Denver area. Residents are strongly advised to seek shelter immediately. Russian forces can and will shoot on sight. In addition, the Russian Air Force have gained aerial superiority over the Denver County airspace. All U.S. aerial superiority has been lost. I repeat, Russian forces have begun an attack on the Denver area. Seek shelter immediately. The Denver County airspace has been compromised. When you are in your shelter, be sure to have food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight, extra batteries, and a battery-powered radio. Repeating, Russian forces have begun an attack on the Denver area. Seek shelter now. Stay tuned for further information on this extremely dangerous situation.
We'll be over, we're coming over.
following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the United States Department of Civil Defense, the United States Armed Forces, and various state-level emergency management agencies. This is not a test. A region-wide state of emergency has been declared due to Russian forces advancing towards the southwestern United States. States including Alaska, Hawaii, California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado are under attack by Russian forces. And it is possible that the rest of the southwest to southern United States will be attacked. Due to this, a region-wide emergency is now in effect. All residents of the states of Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas are to shelter in place immediately. Be sure to have food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight with extra batteries, a cell phone and charger, and a battery-powered radio. Russian forces are advancing and will arrive within the southwestern United States within the next hour. Shelter in place immediately. This is an extremely dangerous situation and should not be ignored under any circumstances. With Russian forces gunning down National Guard, state police, and local police and sheriffs, you are on your own for now. If you have an emergency, handle it yourself. The United States federal government wishes you good luck during this time of crisis and destruction. Stay tuned for further information on this extremely dangerous situation. Good luck, and may God bless you all.
Americans, I come to you with sad and disheartening news. It seems that with the relentless power of the Russian armed forces, our military forces have fallen. As of 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, Russian forces have pushed their way through the Mississippi River and into the northeast United States, which includes our very own capital, Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you all, my fellow Americans, that America has officially fallen. The Russians have overpowered our army, our marines, our air force, our navy, and our National Guard. As hard as we tried to protect our land from the ruthless and brutal hands of the Russian Federation, as valiantly as we possibly could fight, we have failed you as a nation. As of this time, the United States federal government will officially dissolve starting at 12 p.m. midnight. The enemies we have sought to eradicate from Earth have overpowered us. As an era of democracy, freedom, liberty, and justice for all comes to an end, I have one last speech to give. While we may be gone, have hope that we will come back in glory. Have hope that we, the United States of America, return from the dead. Unfortunately, our return will not come within the foreseeable future, and perhaps never will. But regardless, have hope, have courage, and always be determined. To signify our collapse, we will play our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, one last time. This concludes my speech, and the final activation of the emergency alert system. Goodbye, and may God bless and help you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stars and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the
Мои товарищи, сегодня мы отмечаем победу над тиранической американской империей. По состоянию на 18 по московскому времени я получил подтверждение о капитуляции Америки после падения ее столицы, Вашингтона. Товарищи, давайте все возрадуемся, ведь наш враг пал, а мы вышли победителями. Российская Федерация победила. Слава Российской Федерации! Да здравствует!
I know the things you're dreaming.